Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing another what I eat in a day, so let's just hop right on in. So for breakfast we are going to have some strawberries and kiwi, and I am going to put some agave on top just for a little bit of sweetness. If you saw in my last what I eat in a day video, I already prepared the strawberry and kiwi for a healthy snack, healthy breakfast. I don't like to eat heavy in the morning. And then I'm going to pair that with some chai black tea. I got this from Aldi, so it was one of my first times trying it out. I really enjoyed it. I love to have black tea in the morning. It gives me a little bit of a boost of caffeine. I prefer to go to Dunkin' Donuts, honestly, if I'm going to get coffee. And I'm pairing that with some honey, and I also have some oat milk creamer that I'm going to put in there as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you like honey and milk with your black tea. Okay, so let's hop on into lunch. I am making lettuce wraps. This was inspired by the P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps that you can get. Unfortunately, I do believe that they use glutinous soy sauce and hoisin sauce, so I was determined to find a recipe online, which I will link in the description box below, where I was able to replicate that recipe from P.F. Chang's. So I have some ground chicken that I am just about to cook up, and I am aggressively trying to break up the ground chicken. I did see from Jacqueline Hill that there is a meat masher that you can get from Amazon, so I'm really debating getting that. Apparently she said that it was so much easier for her to just ground any of her meat with that meat masher, so I'm going to try that out. And then after the chicken was done being cooked, I just drained off the excess liquid that was there. And now I'm just cooking up some onions. And then once the onions have softened down some, I'm going to add some green onions in there. I'm going to add some fresh garlic. And then also I found from Trader Joe's that they have frozen ginger cubes. So I'm going to add one of those in there as well. And then just mix everything together and just let that cook off. Alright, so now we are going to add in our water chestnuts. It was kind of hard for me to find this, but I was able to find it at Shoppers. So if you have a Shoppers near you, then that should be where you can find some water chestnuts inside of the international aisle. And I'm just chopping those finely. So once the onions, garlic, and the ginger has already been cooked down, I'm going to add the ground chicken back in there, and I'm going to mix everything in thoroughly. And y'all will see in just a moment, I almost forgot to add the water chestnuts in here, but you want to add those in as well. Now we're going to start adding our sauces. I have this Kikkoman gluten-free hoisin sauce. This is the most important sauce of the whole recipe. It was pretty hard for me to find. I was only able to find it on Amazon, and I had to get a bundle of 2, but I was pleasantly surprised by how much I love this sauce, so I was glad that it came in 2. Then I have some tamari that I'm adding, just a tablespoon of that. Some rice vinegar, a tablespoon of that as well. And then I have some sesame oil. I just kind of splashed around as much as I thought I wanted. And then just mixed everything together again. And oh my gosh, these lettuce wraps were so delicious. Oh my goodness. I wish I would have done a reaction of how much they were good. For dinner, we are going to be making salmon cakes. So the first thing you want to do is just bake your salmon with some olive oil and seasonings of your choice. Of course, I'm going to do my basic 4 seasonings: some salt, some pepper, some onion powder, and some garlic powder, because that's just the way that I like to season basically everything. Do you say salmon or salmon? Let me know in the comment section down below. I personally say salmon. So we're just going to pop that in the oven for about 15 minutes, and once it comes out of the oven, we are going to put some aluminum foil over it and just let that rest for yet another 15 minutes. While that's resting, I am going to chop up a full onion, and I'm just going to start cooking that off with some oil and butter in the pan. While that's being done, after the 15 minutes are up for my salmon, I'm just going to start shredding it, and then we are going to build the salmon cakes. So of course, the first thing you want to put in a bowl are the salmon and the onions. And then I'm going to add my seasonings. Again, some salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder. I believe I also added some more pepper, and then I think the last seasoning that I added here was some parsley. Then I'm going to take 2 eggs, and I'm just going to crack those separately. You could also crack the eggs inside of the mixture and just mix it with the eggs whole. I just like to make sure that I'm extra cautious with my eggs because I always seem to get one crack inside of my eggs. After I have the eggs added into the salmon mixture, I think the last thing would just be the breadcrumbs. So I'm using the Gillian's gluten-free breadcrumbs. These are pretty good inside of salmon cakes. You can slightly notice their texture, but it's not overpowering. And then the last thing, 3 heaping tablespoons of mayonnaise. And just mix everything together, and then we're just going to cook everything off. Unfortunately, while I was editing, I realized that I lost my last shot of the salmon cakes, but as you can see here, this was the color that I was looking for on both sides, and they were absolutely delicious. I 100% recommend. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. I know that it was a short one, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And be sure to like, comment, and Lovescribe. I'll see you in next week's video. Bye!